Hello friends, this is Jim with Science Talk. Here's an interesting story that affects humans directly, related of course to global warming. Global warming grows less nutritious rice. One consequence of more CO2 in the atmosphere will be less nutritious rice despite growth gains for some other crops. So global warming could bring a serious problem for the 2 billion people on the planet who depend on one grain for their staple diet. Less nutritious rice to sustain them. Scientists have found that rice grown at higher levels of carbon dioxide has an overall lower nutritional value. The grain contains lower levels of protein, lower levels of iron, lower levels of zinc, metals that are vital for health in trace form, and also consistent declines in vitamin B, number of the B vitamin groups. This finding is not based on computer simulation. It is based on what's called open air field trials. Okay? Nor is it based on a simulation of a plant's response to a notionally higher atmospheric level of the greenhouse gas CO2 or laboratory conditions. This is open air field trials. So, what's happening? Extra carbon dioxide is piped to the plants to mimic the ratios expected at the end of the century as more and more fossil fuels are burned. This has been tested in many locations in rice-growing countries over many years. The finding remains true, although at different levels of impact for the 18 varieties or hybrids of rice that have been tested thus far. Okay. Nutritional levels are down 30%. Now, people may think that CO2 is more plant food, and it is, but how plants respond to the sudden increase in food is another question. Then we also have to look at what's happening in the soil with the trace elements and so forth. 10 nations depend upon rice for daily food supplies. The people most likely to feel the consequences of reduced nutritional support, and these include impaired cognitive development, a weaker immune system, obesity, and diabetes, are likely to be those who are the poorest. That tends to be true. In any nation, the people who are the poorest are forced to eat less nutritional food, so they tend to be more overweight and develop diabetes and other issues related to obesity. The researchers estimate that 600 million people for whom rice provides more than half their daily diet could be affected. Scientists from China, Japan, US, Australia report in the journal Science Advances that they began their research using what they call the technique of free air carbon dioxide enrichment in 1998 to recreate what they expect to be the condition in which farmers will grow crops a few decades from now. So they're basically doing under pretty much standard current farming practices, but with an added amount, concentration of CO2. They found on average that the test rice had, now I'm going to give you specifics. 10% less protein, 8% less iron, 5.1% less zinc, compared with rice grown by farmers under existing conditions. There were declines of 17% in the vitamin B1, thiamine, more than 16% in vitamin B2, riboflavin, vitamin B5 or pantothenic acid levels, and let's see, Pantothenic acid levels were down more than 12%. Folate, or vitamin B9, were now 30%. Up to 1 billion people in the world are what bureaucrats politely call food insecure. Yeah, is a euphemism. George Carlin would have a field day with that one. There has already been concern about the impact of higher levels of carbon dioxide on protein in potatoes, maize, and other cereals. So as global temperatures continue to increase, harvests of all the staple cereals could in any case decline. Sometimes even as a response to wilder extremes of temperatures, of heat, rain, windstorm. Not only we're seeing huge swings in the extremities of the weather, hot to cold, rainy, windy, just one end to the other. It's getting, because the system has been perturbed, has been destabilized, and Earth is trying to find its new equilibrium condition, but because the perturbations continue, Earth cannot settle upon the new equilibrium condition. So it would keep the chaotic thing churning. So, the crazy extreme weather, heat, rain, windstorm, whatever, could result in a 20 to 40% decline in the staple cereals. So far, there's been little research to ascertain the exact levels. The study puts the case as such. For those populations that are highly rice dependent, any CO2-induced change in the integrated nutritional value of rice grains could disproportionately affect human health. The scientists conclude this study by saying, overall, these results indicate that the role of using CO2 on reducing rice quality may represent a fundamental but underappreciated human health effect associated with anthropogenic climate change. Basically, we're killing ourselves. That will, of course, cut down life expectancy and so forth. So, if climate change is happening now, we're seeing the stuff coming home to roost. Now it's affecting the food that we grow and eat. It's affecting the land we live on. We're affecting a lot of things. So I consider this an important study, and I wanted to share that with you. If I learn of any updates, I will extend the studies or to other grains and cereal, or if they continue the study and research is published, I'll be sure to give you the updates. Thank you for your time. Hey folks, just a reminder to please subscribe and click the bell so you know when I drop a video. Please share my videos. Please tell others of my channel and of the work that I do. I also hope that you will consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/Science Talk with Jim Massa, where from time to time I upload videos there exclusively for my patron subscribers. Details in the description box below. Thanks.